And who are you supposed to be?
It's the swordsmith's daughter!
The Knight of the Burning Tree deserves a new ending.
Alright, so Ghost of Yōtei has received a ton of backlash online. There's been some controversy around the lead voice actress and some of her political statements. People are mad that it's another female lead in the game, calling it another girl boss game. Others say it's too woke, or that the story is just another PlayStation revenge plot exclusive, such as God of War Ragnarok or Last of Us Part 2. And of course, the big one, people are saying it's exactly like its predecessor Ghost of Tsushima, calling it Ghost of Tsushima 1.5 instead of a true sequel. But all these arguments, all these narratives you see on X, on TikTok, on YouTube, all of them fail to answer the most important question. Is the game good? Well, I've beaten the game on the hardest difficulty. I've done pretty much everything you can do in the game. So let's answer that question. But before we do, please make sure to like and subscribe to the Questionable group chat. And with that, let's get started. Alright, let's start with the gameplay, specifically the combat, which does feel a lot like Ghost of Tsushima. The sword play is nearly identical, but there are some nice changes. Instead of having different sword stances, you have different weapons to choose from now for the rock, paper, scissors combat system, and it honestly makes the combat feel fresh. You've got the dual katanas, which I love. Spearmen don't stand a chance when I use them, and when you hold triangle to unleash that rapid flurry, it destroys everything in your path, especially in duels. Then there's the Kasarigama, a great addition for the shinobi playstyle. Using the crimson kimono armor to extend assassination ranges is so satisfying. In combat, the Kasarigama can break shields, and when you hold triangle to spin the metal chain ball, chaos. It's one of the most fun weapons in the game. I've really enjoyed using it. Now onto the spear. Yeah, I didn't love this weapon. It just feels awkward. Half the time I couldn't tell if I was too close or too far from my opponent. The only thing I liked about this weapon was the typhoon kick. Knocking people on their ass never gets old, but otherwise I barely touched it unless I had to, like during the Kitsune fight. Lastly, the Odachi, the giant sword. Every swing feels powerful, like you can feel the weight through the controller. Being able to counter deadly attacks and power through hits fits this weapon's whole unstoppable offense vibe. Definitely a strong addition. So overall, 3 of the 4 weapons are solid. Even though the combat feels familiar, there are some great quality of life updates. Riding your horse through flower fields makes you move faster, like the wind tunnels from Spider-Man 2. Small touch, but it makes exploration smoother. When you liberate enemy camps, all the loot is consolidated into one spot afterward. No more running around collecting everything like in Tsushima. Huge improvement. Side activities like bamboo strikes and paintings are spaced out better, so exploration feels fresh instead of repetitive. Oh, and yeah, they have added guns. Absolute game changer. I used the pistol during my duel with Takezo the Unrivaled. I emptied all 6 bullets at the start of every fight and eventually beat him. The blicky came through, boys.
I did it! Oh my god, I did it! Oh my god! Oh my god.
Finally, I am Takezo the Unrivaled no more.
The story is also non-linear this time. You can go after the Yōtei 6 in any order you want, unlike Tsushima's more linear progression. So yeah, gameplay-wise, it does feel similar to Tsushima, but with the new weapons, the quality of life updates, and the added freedom with the somewhat non-linear story, it does make the game feel fresh. Now, let's go more in depth into the story. When I first saw the intro, Atsu in the yellow kimono out for revenge, I immediately thought, okay, this is Kill Bill. It's clearly paying homage to that classic revenge setup. And honestly, I saw why people said it was just another revenge story like God of War or The Last of Us Part 2. At first, Atsu didn't stand out that much, just another revenge-driven protagonist to me. Don't get me wrong, the way she killed the snake in the beginning of the game was wild, but her character didn't really grab me right away. But as the story went on, it got really good. and Atsu really started to grow on me. Alright, I'm gonna put down the spoiler alerts here, and with that, let's deep dive into the story. When it's revealed that Jubei, your brother, is alive, that moment hit. The way they recognize each other, then finding out he has a daughter, total surprise. And Kiku, Jubei's daughter, being so much like Atsu adds another emotional layer to the story. Then, at the end, when Kiku watches her only living parent, Jubei, die, it perfectly mirrors Atsu's own story. That was powerful. The biggest twist, though, Oyuki being the Kitsune. I did not see that coming, neither did my friends. Legit jaw-dropping moment, at least for me. Atsu's growth through all this is what makes the story shine. She starts cold and focused only on revenge, but through Jubei, Kiku, and Oyuki, she finds something to live for beyond hate. When she forgives Oyuki and lets the spider live, that's when you see the change. It all builds to her final fight with Lord Saito. He tells her they're the same, both consumed by revenge. He's building an army for payback while she's hunting the Yōtei 6 for the same reason. Then, before their final battle, she burns her sash, the one she's been marking with each kill of the Yōtei 6, and says she's found something new to live for, which perfectly mirrors what Jubei says with his dying breath.
For the living.
That's real character growth. Even the Adachi Master's final lesson ties to it. To see your enemies objectively without hate. By the end, Atsu actually lives that lesson. Overall, the story is excellent. I wouldn't say it's better than Tsushima, but it's definitely up there. It's emotional, surprising, and meaningful. Now, I know what you're saying. Okay, the gameplay is fine and the story is solid, but that doesn't mean the game is good. We still need to talk about the graphics. I mean, you can't have a good game without the good graphics, right? Okay, let's talk about it. The world is gorgeous. From the trees to the water to the grass to Mount Yōtei, it's all stunning. Just hop on your horse and explore. Now, there's a few display modes in this game that can help change up the atmosphere. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I am going to highlight the ones that I use throughout my entire playthrough, starting with Watanabe mode, which is a mode based on the famous anime director that created Samurai Champloo. If you're not aware of Samurai Champloo, it's a samurai anime that also has lo-fi hip-hop beats. And when you enable this mode, you have lo-fi hip-hop beats playing out through the entire game, which is awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of Samurai Champloo. I really enjoyed it in Ghost of Yōtei. I do have some criticism about it. I wish there were more beats. There's only like, I don't know if I remember off the top of my head, but maybe like 3 tracks that play throughout the entire game. I wish there were more, but I did enjoy the lo-fi hip-hop beats that I did get. And then the other mode that I enabled is Miki mode. Probably the most underrated display mode that I don't see that many people talking about. It's inspired by an old school samurai film style with tight camera angles and tons of mud and blood. It zooms into the camera during your fights, which makes any fight feel way more dramatic and intense. But the issue is you do lose some visibility with that close-up shot, so there might be some enemy off camera that can literally hit you without you even seeing them coming. So that's the only thing that's a downside of that mode, but it does make the fights way more intense, and I really do enjoy the mud and blood and guts that it adds to the gameplay. If you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. It's a game changer. Performance-wise, it's solid. I did run into a few glitches, the biggest one being on day 1 where there was a big bug where my horse would spawn whenever I would call it next to me, and it would just start running away from me.
Bro, why is he running away from me? What the? What is going on? What? Okay. Bro, what? It just keeps going in a loop. Bro, stop running from me. What the?
Other than that, you know, there's some audio cutting out sometimes and the usual glitches where Atsu will jump at a ledge and for some reason she won't grab the ledge and she'll just fall to her death. But overall, like, the performance is very solid. It's what you'd expect from a PlayStation exclusive. about 90 to 95% there with a few minor glitches that are fixed with a patch on day one, so nothing major there. Alright, so I've broken down the game enough. Let's get back to the original question and answer it. Is the game good? Yeah, it's really good. Every gaming session I had with Yōtei was fun. It kept me wanting to play more. I didn't care that the gameplay was similar to Tsushima, or that the people were mad about the main character or voice actress. None of that matters, because the game is fun. The story, solid. The gameplay, excellent. The characters, memorable. If you like Tsushima, you'll like Yōtei. If you're into single player games like Horizon Zero Dawn, where you explore, level up, and just lose yourself in the world, this one's for you. And all that noise about it being cliche, a ripoff, or woke, none of that matters once you actually play the game. At the end of the day, there's only one thing that matters. Is the game good? And yes, it is. I can't wait for the online modes to drop. I'm definitely going to be back when they do come out. Ghost of Yōtei is worth your time. I had a great experience with it. And with that, I'm going to let y'all go. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the Quest Pro group chat. And thank you for watching. Peace.